Okay.
Hi, everybody. This is another edition of the Comedy Time Capsule. And today, from Las Vegas, I have Chris Storin. Hello, Chris.
Hello.
Chris, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and anything you'd like to plug?
My name's Chris. I like to do comedy. I met Nina G through comedy. And I'm from the Bay Area. I moved to Las Vegas in October. And I've been here ever since. Yeah, that's it.
That's it. And you have stuff that you do online. You have cooking shows, you have news shows, you have a website, anything?
You can find me on any of the Instagram, Facebook, just at Chris Storin. That's my name. And then you just look that up, or YouTube at Chris Storin. YouTube me, and subscribe to my channel and give me a like and subscribe. Ding, ding, ding. Hit that notification button. I don't know what to say, Nina. I'm not good at this, but that's that shit. You know, all that shit. I don't know, man. I'm just sitting here trying to do comedy. I haven't done a Zoom show. We were talking about that earlier a little bit. Have you done Zoom shows yet? Like a show, not a show and tell, not something unique and creative and cool that you came up with, but just a show?
I have done just a show, and I've done shows and I've done open mics.
I just got off the phone with Dennis Gaxiola, and he said if you do a Zoom show, make sure it's like produced well. And he said that Sammy really has a great one. Sammy and Kabir.
Yeah.
He said theirs is done very well. But I don't know what that means. Like, I'm weary of it a little bit. I don't know why. Maybe you just got to just do it. Say, fuck it, right?
Okay, so you're doing the opposite of everyone else, and you're just jumping into Zoom and what that's like now. So tell me, what are some of the things that go on in your head about Zoom shows and why you're reluctant?
Standing in front of my phone doing stand-up, I don't know, you know, but I don't think that I would do my jokes. I don't think it would be stand-up like that, you know. I think it would be if I had a Zoom show, I'd probably sit down, write some bullet points. I already have, you know what I mean? You just sit down and you think of things about this quarantine, about all that, and then it gets in my head like, oh man, but everybody's gonna be talking about that shit, and it just stops you. Because I don't want to just be on a lineup of all fucking COVID, a full COVID lineup, you know?
Yeah.
But I think you make it unique if you just tell your own experience and what's going on in your own life. And I've thought of ways to make it creative where you're not just standing there. Like I'll go and bug my wife or something. Like I'll take the phone with me, you know, or just something different, man.
Yeah, I was talking to, I think it was Eric Summers, who had a lot to say on this topic. And he was like, you have to, like, everybody has the same content. Like, people around the world, I'm interviewing, I had interviewed someone in India, and she's going through the exact same thing. So, like, the content all over is the same, but the perspective is this thing that changes. And that is different. So if you don't have a clear voice, then it's going to be really hard to not do hacky, what everybody's heard before, COVID jokes.
Yeah, exactly. And can you imagine when we get back to it, when we actually get back on stage, that's the real pandemic. That's the real pandemic of these comics just going in, and every single one of them just, I'm tired of it already, and I haven't done a Zoom show. I haven't watched a Zoom show. None of it. It's just talking to homies, talking to you, doing your creative show and tell. This is cool, but I haven't participated in it just because it's down our fucking throats, man. It's everywhere. You turn on the TV, there it is. You turn on your phone, there it is. Memes. Oh, I'm just tired of it. I feel like I'm living in Groundhog's Day.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you been in quarantine in Las Vegas?
I think they started, my birthday was March 31st, and my 40th birthday we were quarantined. That was It was fun. We had a good time. We still had family over. We weren't totally. We would have probably been frowned upon with Bay Area folks. Like, how could you do that? So unsafe. All the know-it-alls, you know. But you know, we had some family over, and it was fine. Everybody's fine. So I think mid-March is when they shut stuff down out here.
Okay, yeah, that's about like here too. And now
But
we're
casinos, the thing is with casinos, like I understand opening the world up, getting everything back. With those casino hotels, I had my homie come out here. He's always out here. He lives in the Bay, but he comes out and stays out here all the time. One of my big brothers in life, you know, grew up with him. He stays at the hotel, and then I'll go over there and hang out. And we'll smoke, we'll kick it, you know, gamble, whatever. After about 2 days of that, I come home and I'm like, you know, because it's recycled air. It's everybody's smoking. You know, everybody's there with each other. It's germ city, man. It's germ city anyway. So adding this to it, nobody knows what's gonna happen. Nobody knows what's gonna happen, and you can't fucking disinfect a place that is filled with recycled air and smoke. Are they gonna tell people to stop smoking? Is that going to be part of it? Is this going to be a new thing in casinos? No more smoking. That's going to be tricky, man, because people like to smoke out here, man.
They like to have all their addictions going on at once, and that's
what this city thrives on. As far as that area, the Strip, that's what it is, man. You go there, you have your cigarette, you got your slot machine, you're good,
and your free drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just it's interesting to think of what's going on with that, but with the numbers being off, who knows what's going on? I got an interview with Dr. Fauci or whatever his name is soon, so I'm gonna get to the bottom of it with him.
Oh, that's great! And where can we find that interview?
It'll be on Instagram, Facebook, all YouTube. It'll be I put it on all the stuff, you know.
Yeah, I fell for the other one for the it was a talk show one. Which one? What?
Oh, I was on Stephen Colbert.
Oh, I was so excited, and then I put it on, and I was like, oh, you got.
What do you mean? What are you talking about? It's 100% real.
You know, if you want to create this world in the quarantine, then I'm not going to question it. Whatever gets you through.
Thank you. Yes, this is my world, baby. This is my world.
You are killing it on quarantine without doing any Zoom shows or leaving the house. So good for you.
You know what I gotta say is thank God for political. What do they call them? Pundits, the news people. They're all named Chris. It's amazing. They're all named Chris. You got Chris Cumio you can steal from. You got Chris Matthews, Chris Wallace, the guy that was interviewing on Stephen Colbert, he's a political dude too. Chris Hayes is his name. I think he's MSNBC. But they interview all kinds of people, and the people always are like, let me tell you something, Chris. And I just take it.
I know. I never, you know, my name is rarely heard or seen on TV. So you're very lucky that way. It was good your parents were hacks and named you Chris.
You know, my mom wanted my name to be with a K, but my dad wouldn't have it because he's all, well, if it's with a K, then that ain't the Saint Christopher.
So you were named after a saint who's now defunct?
Saint Christopher, Christ bearer, yeah.
Because, you know, he isn't a saint anymore.
Well, I might have had something to do with that. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Sorry.
Why ain't he a saint no more? Why ain't he a saint no more, Nina? What happened?
Like he didn't exist or something. I don't know. It was like he got, it was like
just
maybe
a story.
As if all of that just isn't a story. But yeah. So I will find out the information and I will send it to you. because I was like, because Italians, we've had St. Christopher in the car forever.
Yeah. I got St. Christopher somewhere around here. My dad gave me a little card of St. Christopher,
Yeah, no, I got some St. Francis around. That is my guy.
My mom was always very different. She liked unique names, and different names. I mean, I got an Uncle Leroy, My brothers are Mark, Mario, Jimmy, and David,
Mm-hmm.
And Jimmy isn't James. It's Jimmy, my brother.
Oh, wow. That's really unusual. Yeah.
Yeah. Mario, that's not that's just different for us. And not for your family, but.
Yeah. But what's your family? You guys are
New Mexican. We're from New Mexico.
Okay.
Yeah.
Portuguese. I just got that confused because you're from San Leandro.
Everybody thinks I'm Portuguese out there. That's why I have so many Portuguese homies, because we all grew up together. That's why I know. Ah, Jesus. That's my Portuguese grandma imitation, because that's what she would always say. Ah, Jesus.
See, I totally made that assumption because I grew up in San Leandro for a few years, for 5 years, and I just totally assumed that was you. So,
well, half white, half my family's not from Mexico, so people are always like, "Well, you can't say you're Mexican if your family's not from Mexico." I was like, "Well,
it was Mexico at some point."
Yeah, New Mexico, Colorado, all those areas. The Spaniards came in, and the native people of that land were raped and pillaged by the Spaniards at that time. So I'm a Spanish-speaking native, okay?
Yeah.
So that's what it is, man.
Let us thank the great clouds for providing the land with rain.
See, that's why I can't do Zoom shows in here. That's why I can't do Zoom shows, because I feel too goofy and stupid here on my phone doing this shit.
Well,
I can do it in front of a real crowd. I don't care, but
it's very self-conscious, and it's weird that this is more self-conscious than a show, than like a live. Why do you think that is?
I need to bomb. If I'm gonna bomb, I need genuine people to see live, to bomb in front of. I feel a lot better that way than to bomb in my room alone.
You need someone else to absorb that energy.
Yes. Very much so. I need somebody else to absorb that energy. That's a good way to put it. Because when you're on stage, you give something to somebody, and they immediately give it right back. You don't get that. No matter what. And with this, I'm saying you don't get that from this, but I haven't done one, so I don't know. Dennis was telling me that, there's a certain way to set it up where you do see smiling faces, or you do see audience members while you're doing it, and it helps with the timing, he said. But I don't know, man.
So let me ask you this. One of the fears when all this first came down was Eddie Murphy in an interview once said that after he did his 2 big specials and he started to do film, and then he didn't do stand-up, and he was afraid that he lost it. That that break in doing stand-up, he never went back to it because it would be too hard to get it back. None of us are Eddie Murphy, so I don't want to make that comparison, but we all are forced to take this break. And what do you think that break's going to do to our comedy?
Maybe make it a little rusty for the first week, and then you'd be right back to it.
Do you think so?
I think the same thing with Eddie Murphy. He just has to get back to it. You got to eat it for a few times. The problem with him is he is held in such high standards that if he bombs and the media and everybody goes after him for eating a bag of dicks on stage, that's hard. That's different than bombing. That's like as comedians, we bomb. We're like, all right, well, fucking let's where did I go wrong? And you figure it out, and maybe I switch these words around, take this, put it here. We go through it, we craft it, we we make it so it's funny. You know, we have funny ideas, or we think it's funny. We try it. It doesn't work. But you still in your head have to have the confidence. No, this is funny. I just have to figure it out. Mm-hmm. But, you know, with him, it's like he's held in just such high standards that if he bombs, it's different than if we bomb. You know, so I think it's just a different thing for him. For us comics that, you know, don't have that kind of clout, man. It'll take about a week. You just get back up there. You just start grinding again, and it'll come back. It's not. Comedy's not going anywhere, man. You know.
Well, and how did you write before this, and do you continue to write without there being a place to go with your jokes, or what how have you been creating?
I have to live life and let shit happen. If I sit there and tell myself, all right, I'm going to sit here and write, nothing will get done. I'm too much in my head. I'm ADD like that. Like, I can't filter thoughts through. It's just everything comes at once. So if in the moment something happens in life, if I piss my wife off, if I crack a joke just out of just talking with friends, having a conversation with somebody, and we come up with something, you know what I mean? Like, it's like that, like talking to family and funny shit happens. Like the other day, my dad, I posted it. Now this is something that I will probably put in my stand-up, but I posted it because my dad's funnier than everybody. He just is constantly he has to write a book of Jim-isms. Is just because he's so funny. Like, he says the funniest shit. Somebody asked him, what is a vegan? And he says, it's when they eat all vegetables, no meat at all vegetables. You live about 10 years longer, but you're unhappy as hell. It just killed me, you know? And like things like that. Like, I'm like, Dad, that's gold. That's gold, you know?
My mom said on Easter, because they live in Pleasanton in like a older adults community, and what the older adults wanted to do was have like an Easter parade where they would have hats on and they'd go down the street. And my mom was like, oh my God, it just makes me want to move. Like, I just want to, oh God, I just want to go out there and I want to slit my throat during the parade. Like, that was, and I was like, oh, that's good. That's good. And so, like, it's that personal interaction is since we don't have situational things, it's the conversation with our families is one of those places to get stuff from.
I'm not sad about it. I love it, you know. It's this is okay. We needed a break, man, from the world. You know, everybody needed it. Am I ready to get back to it? Fuck yeah, I am. I'm itching to get back to it. I want to do it right. You know, whatever they're saying to do, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to go against it. I'm not going to act stupid. But I'm going to, you know how they said, like, groups of 10 or more are against the law and shit. So for my birthday, which was March 31st, we had 7 people here. And Ty was here. You know Ty Rivera. He's my brother in comedy. Like, that's I don't give a fuck. He's invited to my home anytime. That's my bro. So that's just the way that is. So he came over, and he was like, 7 people? We're 3 away from the cops getting called on us. Yeah, but I mean, we had a good time, and you know, everybody's that I do allow to come through, or if I go to their place, I'm not gonna worry about it like everybody else is worrying about it. I mean, I'm not trying to go out and like be Jeremy and be an asshole, but also with people that are close in your life, I don't second guess that. I don't even think twice. It's just like, I know they're being safe, and you know, so I trust it. And if I get it, then I get it, man. Like, I have no the fear that they're giving us isn't gonna happen to me. I'm gonna live my life. I'm gonna be cautious because that's smart, right? Be cautious, but I'm gonna live my life. Yeah. You know, at a certain point, we just have to live our life, man. And you know, what's gonna happen to this economy? I was talking to my homegirl who's a bartender, in San Leandro, and she's just like, yeah, they're shutting everything down. I might not have anywhere to go once this is all done because these bars are closing down now. They're so economically fucked that they can't operate. So they have to close their doors. So it's like, and then the people that,
No, go
I was saying the people that can go to the bar and like they can finally start, nobody has money. So it's like, who's going to be at the bar? 3 people. So it's going to be a slow start. And,
what impact do you think that'll be on comedy in terms of not necessarily the comics and their material, but places that will be open and how comedy will be performed in the setup? Is it going to be half the audience at the punchline now because everyone has to be 6 feet apart?
That'll be odd, but I'll take it. And it's only going to be temporary like that. I don't think that's going to last that long. Can you imagine? Like, we're not, like, people are going to be going out and doing that, and then they're not going to be getting sick. So it's just going to be, okay, let's just go. Are the numbers going to maybe hike up once we get socially going again? Probably, man. But if you freak out and you act like an asshole, then I don't know what to say, man. I'm not freaking out. I'm not going to freak out, man. I'm just, that's the shit that drives me nuts more than anything. I'm like so close. And I talked to Ty yesterday about it. I want to delete my Facebook so bad. I can't stand it, man. And social media in general, we have to have it because that's our outlet. That's the way that's the way I do my program. That's the way that we're talking. You know what I mean? So it's hard to ignore, and I'm like addicted to it. My wife calls me on it all the time. Get off your fucking phone. I'm always on there, like just scrolling for no reason at all. Instead of being present and being in the moment with people, I'm sitting there scrolling and just getting angry. Oh, let me just wake up and just be angry. Oh, look at this. Know it all after, like pandemic and fucking just like, ugh. Oh man, it's constant bickering, man. And the truth is, whether you like that conspiracy theory documentary that went viral, whether you like it or not, nobody knows what the fuck. Nobody knows what's right and what's wrong right now. Something's fucking, it's weird. It's odd what's going on, and it's strange. All we can do is sit back and see what's next. It's all we can do.
Do you think, and so one of my things about this, and the reason why I wanted to do the time capsule, is because comedy is such a young profession. It's such a young art form. If you take it from vaudeville on, or I prefer Lenny Bruce on, that there have been cave paintings forever, but nobody's gone up in front of people and just told jokes, and that was it. And so this is our first pandemic. And to me, and so it's interesting to go through it in terms of how comedy's going to change. But also, do you think humor is going to change, both on the parts of the comics, but more on the parts of our culture?
Is comedy going to change? Like, I feel like it's going to change for the better. Like all this, before all this started, what was it? Social justice warriors coming after people for jokes. I mean, highly offensive jokes that are like we can't say this anymore. You get kicked off Twitter for a fucking joke, Nobody knows sarcasm anymore. Now I feel like people are starving for it so much that it'll be a little more accepted. People are starving for that. Before the pandemic happened, the days before, I was still out doing shows. I was riding until the wheels fell off. Until they told me that I couldn't fucking go, then I stopped. That's how I did it, and people were shitting on me then. The know-it-alls, oh, are you crazy? Like, what do you do? Okay, man, just live your life. I'm not judging you. Shit, people just love to be smart. It's stupid. It's retarded. But so that right there, when we were doing our final shows, maybe we had 75 people at our second to last show, and then 25 people at our last show. Those were the best audiences because they felt like something was just, you felt it. Like you felt that they're about to turn the switch on zombie apocalypse on us, because we were getting it on the news, you know, we were starting to figure it out, the numbers and everything, and they were closing stuff down slowly. But when they started getting to those final couple days, those crowds, it was like they were thirsty, you know what I mean? And we were a big glass of ice water for them, you know, like they loved all of it. Our punchlines were hitting, our setups were hitting. Setups that don't normally hit were just making people laugh for some reason. I think we're going to be getting a lot of that type of audience once it ends, appreciative audience.
Yeah, that'll
You know?
be nice. You think that they'll appreciate it more in Las Vegas than in the Bay Area?
They party out here, I'll tell you. They party. You know, I mean, this is that city. But as far as like human being Las Vegas, not the strip, but like off the strip human beings, yeah, I like the community here. I like the you know, not everybody's like does what they do in the Bay Area, where it's just like waiting around to find something to bitch about and then jumping on that and like, let's see, I'm for something, I'm woke and this and that, you know, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that people that ask questions are like are racist or conspiracy theorists, or just like, no, man, asking questions is okay. Whether you think they're ignorant or not, it's okay. Let's get the story out and let's figure it out. You know, it's not a bad thing to ask questions. And like,
let me ask you, like, because now that we're doing the reverse interview, can you say a little bit about how you got into comedy and why?
I've always just been a goofball, I guess, in life. Like, I love making people laugh. You know, we talk about our lives. I'm not much on like therapy sessions here or nothing, but you know, my childhood was, I grew up fast. I had to grow up quick, you know, and I just kind of wanted everything to be okay as a kid. I just kind of wanted like everybody around me to be happy and not have no problems. So I think that kind of stuck in my head, and it made me kind of like make jokes at the wrong time, or make humor when there's tragedy, and, you know, try to lighten the mood when people are down, you know? And those things got me to, I've always wanted to do it since I was a kid. I mean, my senior quote in high school is "Tragedy tomorrow, comedy tonight," you know? I just always, I wanted to be on Saturday Night Live when I was a kid. Not no more, though. That shit sucks. I want Adam Sandler to put me in his movie as his little brother. Come on, man. I could do it.
I think you're better looking than him at this point. So,
Lena. Yeah. I love you, girl.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, man. You know, I think that, so with that, I just like, I started doing theater and stuff. Like I that was my outlet. That's what kept me out of trouble. And I did well in theater, especially if it was a comedy or something. Like my teacher would tell me, "Man, you naturally have the timing of this. Like you read it, you're not reading it like the other guys. You're reading it and you have the timing of it. You know the parts that are set up for the crowd to laugh at. Like you can just naturally see that. That's a good quality, you know." And it made me think like, man, this is exactly what I want to do with my life and this and that. Then I went to stand up, and I tried out for the Groundlings when I moved to LA. I started stand up in LA in 2003, and I didn't make it. I got like the very lowest class you can make it in, you know? And then I just thought to myself, well, I don't like improv really anyway. Like this isn't what I'm doing, you know? I mean, hey, it's, people love it, you know? Some of the funniest people come from that. What I tell comics is improv is a good tool to have for being a stand-up. It's something good to just have in your toolbox, you know? To be witty and to be just spur of the moment. Something happens and then boom, you can go in and handle it, you know? That's a good thing. So I went to the Comedy Store, and my first time ever on stage, I did the potluck at the Comedy Store. 3 minutes.
Explain what that is.
It's different now, but at that time it was on Sundays and Mondays, and you show up. I think they put the list out, I want to say like 6 or 7 p.m. They put out a list. So I got there after I got off work at like 4 p.m. I got there like 4:30. I just sit there and wait. And a few other comics would like start coming in. I was one of the first ones there. A few other comics started coming too. Ty Rivera, another one. That's how I met him. We were the first 2 comics waiting to put our name on the list. And the list has 40 slots on it. So 40 people can put names. That's the order you go to draw your name out of this bucket. So they give you a bucket, and there's tickets that have numbered 1 through 20, but there's 40 tickets. 20 of them are blank. And then there's numbers 1 through 20. If you pull a blank, you don't go on. If you pull a number, that's the order you go next week. So my first time ever, I pulled a 19. That's a great number. You know, if you go first, there's nobody even there. It's all comics, typical open mic. But once you start getting like, 15, 16, maybe there's 3 or 4 people in the audience. So by the time I got on stage, there's like 10 people there. And I was like, oh shit, there's a crowd here. This is great. It's a Comedy Store, the Comedy Store, man. It's just, and at that time it was kind of like a dingy, kind of dumpy. It wasn't what it is now, And I went up there, Nina, and I ate shit so hard.
And that was your first time?
Ever, yeah. I was man. It was so bad. There was this lady heckling me in the crowd, this black lady. After everything I said, she'd be like, not funny. Not funny. Everything. And it was like, oh, man. And then at the Comedy Store, your light is on the side of the stage. It's a blue star, and it like lights up. The lady goes, your light's on. Your light's on, honey. Time to. Oh, it was bad. It was bad. But I was addicted after that, Like it was traumatizing, but it was a rush, man. I don't know. I loved it. And I learned, hey, maybe I should write my shit down. And so I started writing little bullet points, bringing them to the shows, and just having no shame in it. Just reading out the bullet points and figuring it out,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, what was your typical week like before all of this?
Before the pandemic?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I had 2 weeks out of the month, I had a residency at Planet Hollywood with Edwin San Juan. So I was doing those shows. I had that, just doing news dicks and things like that. What else was I doing? I was doing everything in my power not to get a job, not to like actually get a 9-to-5, because I want to survive off comedy. I want to make this my life. It's real tough, but I thought I could do it in Vegas. It's cheaper. I was barely getting by in the Bay Area doing it. In Vegas, it's so much cheaper. I could probably just breathe a little better. And then coronavirus hit. Nobody's breathing. No, but I would do all the clubs. I'd go to the smaller shows in Vegas. I was just hustling, just like I did in the Bay, man. Just trying to figure out shows and get on. I got on at Kimmel's Comedy Club, and they liked me, and they were going to bring me back to headline on April 11th, but yeah. That would have been cool, man. And they're so nice there.
Really?
Kimmel's is really nice to me. Bonkers is a good club too. They're cool. These clubs are so nice, man. And like I'm just starting to pave my way here and get in. And I was getting a good response, but dun 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 dun. Yeah. So the Kimmel Comedy Club is so nice, man. For my lady's birthday, they like really accommodated us, and you know, they were very cool. And I don't know, man. They're like Carrie, the manager. They're just a sweetheart. The guys that run the
partially because like he's so family oriented. Is it like it just trickles down to the practice of the club?
who? Oh, Jimmy.
Yeah.
You know, he's not there. What I heard is that the manager talks to him like once a week and kind of talks to him about, even throws local names in there. That's really nice. She doesn't have to do that, you know. But she likes to do it, and he wants to know. I don't know him. I know his sister Jill. She's so sweet. Human being, you know what I mean? You know, you're Jimmy Kimmel's sister. You can fucking act how you want. You know what I mean? She's a human being, man. She's cool as hell. She's cool as hell. She's just lived a real ass life, and she's a comic, and she's just like all of us, man. She's just a straight up comic. She's out there grinding. She's out there working on her shit, and I respect her a lot.
Well, and they're all from there too. Jimmy grew up there, so that it's like it's a different thing than just going there and having a club because you know you're a comic and the Bellagio has some space. He probably really wants to have a community there.
Yes, there's a lot of stage time here, Nina. There's so many clubs. Brad Garrett's is another club I'm trying to get in. Haven't gotten into that one. The Laugh Factory, haven't gotten into that one, but I'm working on it, and things were going good before this all went down. In that respect, and I don't know, the community out here is great. I love all the comics. I don't know, it's cool.
That's great. That's good. What was your favorite thing about doing comedy when you were doing it before this?
The feeling of I'm supposed to be doing this, because I second guess myself so much. I don't know if you do, but I do. I'm always like, God, I picked the wrong thing. You know, when I see people, like, you're not supposed to look at people's life or people's successes or whatever, but damn, man, like, I just wish I was in a better place to support my family, to as a responsible adult, I guess. Like, I just wish I was in a better place. And you know, it's my own fault. I can go get a job at Costco right now if I want. You know what I mean? And like, I'm a blue collar kid. I never really went to school, so you know, I'd have to get a job doing blue collar shit, figuring it out.
Yeah, but so, like, you have persisted all of these years. Why? What's it? I mean, aside from not wanting to get a typical job, why do you like comedy so much? And what do you miss about what you loved about it?
It's rewarding to let people forget about their own stresses for a little while. Kind of brings back to what I was saying about just wanting everybody to be okay.
Yeah.
They can sit back and listen to my stupid ass for a few minutes a night and forget their problems and just laugh, or have the same problems and relate, and that it feels rewarding. It feels good. It feels good to be able to do that, you know?
And yeah, I was actually gonna, like, that's one of the things I wrote down and put a star next to, because like, you wanted to make people laugh to kind of relieve problems when you were a kid. And it sounds like that's still kind of there for you when you do comedy. And like, your comedy's a bit more joyful. I mean, mine is not joyful. Mine is like, you're gonna look at this shit that you fucking do all the fucking time, and you're gonna laugh at it, and then you're gonna, like, then I want you to change things. Yours is just joyful. and so that's kind of deliberate then, it sounds like. And it's not like you're like, I think I want to make people happier, but it's just kind of a byproduct of who you are and what you bring onto the stage, you think?
Yeah. Yes, very much. You find your voice. You find the things you do. When I first started stand-up, I kind of went in this way or that way and did the jokes, but I did them in these, I didn't feel like it was me. Or sometimes I have second-guessed myself, like, man, I don't want to be known as the cartoon. Like, if that's something that people would give me as a compliment, but I didn't take it that way. I was like, I'm not no fucking cartoon. I'm a cartoon. Straight up. I know. That's my voice. It's who I am. It's what my life turned me into. And I can't get it out. I can't not think about everybody not being okay. I don't ever want, I just want everybody to be good. I don't want no anger. I don't want none of that shit. I just want everybody to be all right, man. That's how, I think that's just stuck. I don't know. But once you go for long enough, you start figuring your voice out, and then you're able to write material in your voice. So it is deliberate, I act like a dumbass. When I put my glasses on, I'm way smarter though.
Oh wow, look at that. Although you're still wearing pajama pants. So it does...
Hey, oh, you see these? Yeah, it's quarantine, baby. This is my fit.
I put on makeup for Zoom shows. It's a very different experience. So
I know.
Yeah.
What is that right there?
Oh, this thing here?
Yeah.
Are you a Chris Elliott fan?
Yeah, I like Chris Elliott, but I don't know much about what is that?
Have you seen Cabin Boy?
Cabin Boy. Probably years ago.
Okay, so this is a cake topping from the cupcake shop on Main Street in Hayward, and I asked them to do the cupcake from Cabin Boy, which is when he hallucinated in the water, there was a cupcake in the sky that spit tobacco.
And that was it?
Yeah, and it looks just like this. They did such a great job.
That's funny. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm Googling that as soon as I get off this with you.
And it looks just like it. What's that?
At first, I thought it was Krusty the Clown,
No. Something way cooler and more obscure that no one cares about.
Dude, what's up with the Simpsons? Did you see that Simpsons thing? I'll send it to you. They predict everything. There's always something. Yeah.
And so they predicted this?
So the Trump one, right? You saw the Trump one where he's going down the escalator and the sign falls and everything. Dude, how crazy is that, right? So they did one where these Asian guys are coughing into a box, and then the little particles get in the box, and then they tape it and they send it to Homer, and Homer opens it up and the shit goes, and then they show like the virus like at an intersection, virus going this way, virus going that way. And then they cut to a scene where they're like, we want a cure. And then they're like, well, the cure might be in that truck. So the guys run to the truck. They pull it over. It's killer bees.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
And that was all in the same episode?
Dude, Matt Groening, I'm telling you, that dude is a time traveler. There's something's going on now. I don't know.
Well, and also I have a theory that our prophets from like the Jesus days or whatever, all those prophets were really meant to be screenwriters.
Yes.
Because that's what our prophets predict. Like the siege, where they put all of the Middle Eastern people in the stadium, like that was pre 9/11. Like all those fears that we have eventually come true right now at certain times. So that's what I think, and so I think Matt Groening is probably part of that. Yeah. Okay, there's other stuff I want to ask you about. You know what? We've been talking for almost an hour. What do you think I should be asking you?
Well, I want to ask you stuff. Can I ask you stuff?
Yeah.
Or is it just a me interview? Like, what about you? I mean, what's not in your book about comedy that I could say something to you where you're like, it's in my book, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much that I could
I know.
extrapolate on. I could go off, whatever. So
Yes.
yeah, no,
I want
comedy.
to get your book for my cousin, and I'm going to. Don't you worry, I'm going to. But my cousin stutters too. I got a cousin that he's an amazing, amazing musician. Unbelievable. Like, just he's psycho. He could play anything, and he just pick it right up and play well. But like, and it's smooth and everything like that, you know. But his talking, he stutters. And like, I wonder about that. Like, how does the brain, like, I don't know what it is about music. It's a different language. It's something you speak music, you know?
Yeah, well, okay, so people who sing and stutter, such as Bill Withers and also Mel Tillis, they are fluent when they sing because it's a different part of the brain. So stuttering.
Not Bill Withers. Have you heard "Ain't No Sunshine When She's Gone"? He stutters like hell in that. I know. I'm sorry.
But no, and I think that it's a way that he sang that. It's a rhythm of that was a stuttering rhythm. So
Yeah.
I really think like that came from that experience.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I mean, that is my own thought. Nobody knows.
I had no idea Bill Withers was stuttered too.
Yeah. But when they talk, they're disfluent. When they sing, they're fluent. And that's because talking is right here on the left side and singing is on the right side. So you can bypass it. And the example that I always use is that Marilyn Monroe stuttered. And that's why she talked like this. Because if you talk like this, you can trick your brain into being fluent. And so that's what happened there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. I think you've just found your voice.
Oh, yeah, I know.
All your comedy. Hi, everybody. I'm Nina G.
No, once I was in this training, everybody had their PhD, all these really smart people, and I explained that because they figured that my mom didn't breastfeed me, and that's why I stuttered. So I was like, no. It's a brain thing. Let me explain it. And I did the Maryland voice, and this guy there was like, oh, that's very sexy. Maybe you should talk like that all the time. Like, fuck you and your PhD. But,
Thank you.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Do you play any instruments musically, or do you have it? No, nothing music.
I took a month of guitar, failed at that. Yeah, no, I'm not musical. I can dance well. There's a lot. I would record Yo MTV raps growing up, and I'd learn all the dances, and then not do them because I knew I would look ridiculous.
No, I bet you wouldn't, man. That's cool. That's cool that you did all the dances, man. You found something that got you.
You say that with a serious face. I could already tell you're making.
I could see you doing the running man and all that shit. I can see you handling it. Oh, look at that. See? Yeah. I'm telling you, 90s dance moves and 90s NBA. We need to bring those back. That's what we need to bring back.
Oh, yeah, and we can now because there isn't any other NBA out there. So
I play music too, though. Like, that's one of my outlets too.
Well, yeah, no, I see you on the keyboard at shows.
Yeah, sometimes. I've done it a little bit. I haven't played live in front of people a lot. I get very, very nervous. I don't know. Like, it's like stage fright nerves when I play music in front of people versus stand-up. I can just do it. But playing music, I don't know why I'm like that.
Yeah, okay, so this is something that I've been thinking about the pandemic because music is like a static thing kind of, and I know it's not, but it's more static than stand-up. It's just kind of there. And you can perform it and be good and no one's around. But comedy, it's not like, oh, I just killed in the bathroom. Like that's not really a thing. Do you think you could do music on Zoom and feel better about that?
I don't know if I could do it live. I'd have to record it and like put it out as a recording that I feel good about. Do you know what I mean? Or like I could record it and do it. I've done it a couple times like that. And I was like, I could do this. But if I put the camera on and start playing, I don't know if I could do that.
Okay, and so what you do for shows is you do a pre-recorded song that you feel good about, and then you could play it off your computer and share your screen. And that's your thing. And that's your contribution.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll figure something out. I gotta write a quarantine song, you know, just like every other one. See, that's what goes in my head too. It's just like everybody. It's too diluted already. Let's get over this. Let's move on already, man. Let's get back to it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and that's why I'm not writing any jokes around it. Although I do have an idea, because I lost track of my period for the past 2 weeks, because I always track it as like, oh, I was at this show, and now I look up that show. It's like, okay, I'm due because that's 20 days from that show. And now it's like having a period in a casino. Like, you know, it's all one big blur.
Yeah.
And I just track. And I feel that's a fresh take on the quarantine. But
that's
also
fucking hilarious.
But do I care about it? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, am I getting my period? Am I pregnant? It could be anything.
No, it's just that time has gone by so freaking slow. I can't tell what's what. So that's the bottom line.
True. You know, this one thing, making the content does keep me busy. It's tedious as hell to go through all these interviews. And, you know, I take their snippets that they say, and then I cut those up. And then I sit there and watch the snippets for hours and try to, like, figure out dialogue. Try to figure out a story, like, oh, I'll put this here, I'll put that there, and you know, it's tedious. Yeah,
no, I can't stand any of that. That's why I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna put it up as it is, because I can't deal with any of that. So good for you that you can go through all of that, and it's interesting to me that you write the material around it, which must be a different way to go about this.
I just find the interviews where they say the name Chris, man, so it makes it look like they're really talking to me. Yeah. And then like if they say it a few times, I try to sprinkle it in, you know, and it's like I'll use those parts, and I don't know, man, like it's you watch it and then you get ideas, and then you know, a lot of it gets cut.
Yeah, you know? Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, most of it gets cut.
And now now since Chris Cuomo had COVID, you could probably do an interview with you having COVID.
Oh, maybe. I was thinking about that too, like be in the house like this and just be like, oh, everybody, I'm sick, you know, like maybe get a ventilator I might get a couple of water bottles and like a mask and like attach the water bottle to the mask and make it look like I have a ventilator. I think he just became my producer.
Yeah, and then you could have a GoFundMe for it, like you're doing all of it.
These GoFundMes have gotten out of control too. That's another thing that's weird to me. Some of them, you know, it's just like I've never understood the comics that are like support my dream. You know, even doing like I was doing the cooking thing for a couple times. I will make a steak one for you. It's lost a little steam for me, though. It's lost a little steam for me, personally. It's just like, I don't know. I mean, it's cool and all, but I don't know. It's just to pass the time more than anything.
Yeah, no,
I'm in the
totally.
kitchen all the time cooking. I cook a lot. I always cook. So I was like, might as well just use the time and make a little thing here.
And that's also like your creativity now is around food. It sounds like too.
Yes. Yeah. Very much. Figuring out what to make, figuring out, you know, different ingredients to put in shit and whatever. And it's fun. It's fun to break it down and make a show out of it. And my dumb ass, nobody takes me seriously anyway. So a cooking show, they're probably like, oh my God, you know, but I can't.
But that could totally turn into a thing though. Like, you know,
I could cook a steak though. I know how to cook a steak properly. You called me out so hard, and like it was so small, yet it hit me like a ton of bricks when you're like, why don't you just cook the whole thing on the fucking on the pan? Why are you doing all these extra steps for steak, dog? Just cook it on the pan. It's already cooked. I took that shit out. That shit was I made rubber steaks that day.
That's kind of what I thought it would be. And like, I don't cook at all. I don't cook. I mean, I do now, but otherwise I don't cook. So I was just like,
Yeah.
But it sounds like you grew from that experience. So
I did.
That's good.
I had fun with it, yeah. But I'm gonna make steaks for you, and then I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what I'll do after that. I don't know if I'll keep them going or not. But it's fun. It's just another thing to do. Keep you busy.
No, and that's the thing is like you have to find creative outlets right now, and that's from the other interviews that I'm doing is like people just trying to find different ways to engage. Like I did an interview with the DNA, and what we talked about was like, can you, like, if you're a stand-up comic and you don't have live comedy, then who are you? And like that is the question, like what is my existence without that thing? And I think
Exactly.
that we're figuring out.
You know, at first I was like very defiant about the Zoom. I'm not anymore. You know, I'm happy that other comics are finding an outlet and able to express themselves that way. It's huge. What I've heard is it's great. I've heard it's good experiences. Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, I guess we make the best with what we got, you know?
That's what I think we're doing at the moment.
Yes. But I mean, when I was defiant about it, in the beginning, it was more, my thing was like, I didn't sign up for this. That's not stand up to me. You know, and like a lot of people are like, well, it's stand up. No, it's not. I still believe that it's what we're doing for now to get by. It's definitely not the future. Fuck that. No. You know,
although
that's not
could
what
it be
this is.
the future if all the dive bars close and, you know, I totally hope that doesn't happen, because if the only thing that's open is TGI Fridays, like I don't want to live in that world. But if all the dive bars close and there's not that place to develop yourself, will online Zoom shows be that place to do open mics? And I don't know if that's one way that things might go.
Look, it's looking like things are gonna open back up. That's what I'm saying. You know, slowly but surely we'll be back, and then once they open the doors a little bit, I feel like the floodgates are gonna open. We're gonna get a lot of narcs. We're gonna get a lot of narcs coming up soon, just like blowing the whistle, like there's more people in there than there should be, like that type of shit. You know, there's gonna be a lot of that.
Yeah.
You know, but people are gonna be going back to their normal lives. They want to. It's you know, this is scary, and it's not. It's definitely important that we take it serious, but also, you know, with all the evidence coming out and like they don't know the numbers and stuff, it makes you come with your own conclusions, and it makes you say, you know, let's just see what happens. You know,
Yeah,
that's how the world's feeling.
And with a possible vaccination in the next few months, I've heard some estimates that it might be in the fall. Then that will really open things up.
Yes.
But hopefully it is widely available too.
When was the last time you got on stage, like actual show?
So the Sunday night that the bars were closing in the Bay Area, I forget what day that was. But I was doing a show that started at 4 p.m. and ended at 6. So like I was literally by the skin of my teeth. Like it was the last possible show because all the bars would close 2 hours after my show.
Yeah.
So that was mid-March.
Oh,
So
gosh, man.
yeah. And I had some great shows coming up in August. I had lots of speaking gigs. So it like I've lost thousands of dollars because of this. So that's painful. But luckily I have a good day job, so I'm okay. But, that's all money that I would have paid off a credit card for because I got in debt a little bit about the book. That's really why you have to buy the book because now because I did the book, so I get the speaking engagements at the colleges, but now the colleges aren't having it. But I have a college gig next week on Zoom. So
that's good.
And I get paid this much where I would have gotten paid that much.
Yeah. Yeah. We need to get back to it. It's getting to be that time. That's how I feel.
Yeah, but again, we have to be safe because I have a family member who has lung cancer and some other family who are like, this doesn't exist. It was like, well, then you don't get to be around this person.
Yeah, no, not it doesn't exist. I'm not I'm not going off the deep end or anything like that. But I just feel that we've now that we've had some time, we're able to balance out the numbers better. In the beginning, nobody knew shit, and in the very beginning, we were lied to. We didn't know, like the CDC was not knowing what the fuck. They were going by, and now they're saying that China's like back and running again. It's like, are they? What are they? What can you believe about them now? Like what numbers? Like would you even trust them with numbers? Like where are we basing anything off of? All we can do is base off our own country. That's it. And Italy and countries that are like our allies and stuff.
Yeah, well, and Australia's done a great job, and I wish whatever they did, I wish we had done here, which I don't know what they did. My best friend
lives in Australia, and I talked to him about it, and they just they've had their shit together forever. They don't even have guns. Guns are outlawed out there, and he's like, how many mass shootings we've had since we've outlawed guns? 0.
Yeah, no, and they had one, and they reacted, and that was it.
Yes. New Zealand had that terrible one, but that was like...
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Sorry.
Yeah, but I mean, like they're doing... I like the way they do things in Australia, man. When you go to McDonald's out there, it's fast food, but I don't know if this makes sense to you. It just... The food tastes cleaner. Like, I don't know. There's something about it. It doesn't taste... it's just a little cleaner, and their large is our medium. So they're not giving their people all that sugar. They're not letting you have it. And it's like I like that because you let people go off on the deep end. Look how fat everybody is, and look how out of shape. And now we have all these people that are fucking, oh, I'm unhealthy and I can't go out because of COVID and shit. Well, if you were healthy, you'd feel a little bit better. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that it's, I don't know. I go off the deep end a little bit myself with this shit. The way I talk about it, like it sounds like, I'm just antsy like anyone else, I guess.
Well, and there's lots of nuances that aren't necessarily talked about online that, like Facebook, you say one thing and people are like, rah, rah, because you don't whittle it down and you don't massage it into your real thoughts. It's just this equals that.
I read this, so I know this. Well, I read this, so I know this. And it's like, nobody knows shit. Nobody's source is valid. I get mine straight from the CDC.
Yeah. Yeah, if you know anything, you're probably not posting on Facebook is the thing.
I don't do none of that shit, man. I don't act like I'm fucking no. I don't act like I hate that smarter than thou attitude too. Like I hate that. It's just it's it's the that's the stuff that really makes me want to get the fuck off of there because it angers me. It puts me in a place where I don't like to be in there. I don't like to feel that way, you know?
Yeah, totally. And comics, it's so weird that comics have such a, like the ones that are like the mid-level, low-level ones that are probably on your Facebook, like they're coming at it with this strong opinion, and it was like, well, why? Like, why? How does this make you better than anyone else? Like, there's a lot of questions that come up then.
You know that the shooting that happened a couple months ago, those guys just got arrested, and people watched that video. It's fucking horrific. Did you watch it?
No.
It's terrible, man. It's just it's a fucking execution. You know what I mean? It's horrific. But that one of my friends had a question, and he asked online, like, who's filming this? Like, who's sitting there filming it? And people that were woke were attacking him for even asking, like, what does it matter? And isn't like doing the what does it matter thing to be like, I'm an ally to black people. What does it matter? Shut the fuck up. There's nothing wrong with having a question of who's holding the camera, you know? Like,
well,
that's
and why wouldn't you intervene? Why wouldn't you use your privilege to intervene instead of
people sit there and wait around.
Content.
They wait around for an excuse to be woke. They wait around and sit there and, oh, I'm going to fucking take this person down. Look, I'm a Facebook hero. That type of shit, that narrative now that people have in their head, that's a big reason why I want to get off of all that shit. But I'm not gonna. I'm going to stay on it.
And you'll wake up angry, and you'll go to bed angry.
I'll do it tomorrow, too. Get yelled at. Put your phone down.
Well, Chris, thank you for talking with me, and it was great seeing you, and I miss you in the Bay Area, but I'm happy you're at a place where you can probably afford a nice house. So,
and once all this shit ends, you know, if you ever are passing through for comedy or you got some gigs lined up out here or anything, hit me up. You always got a place to stay, and, you know.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I live in a 1-bedroom apartment, so you're better off with your family in San Leandro than you are here. Otherwise, I would offer it. So.
I got fam out there still.
Yeah, I figured you're better off wherever you stay here. So, well, Chris, thank you so much, and I will see you, I guess, online.
Yeah, okay.
So, and I expect that steak video soon.
That's for you. I'll do that very soon.
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks.
Bye.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye.